Konnichiwa, I'm John Hornick. Welcome to my Japanese Faves series, where we'll cover every major type of Japanese food. This lesson is Kasu Ice Cream. I don't normally make desserts, but I saw this recipe in Hannah Kirschner's great book on Japanese culture called Water, Wood, and Wild Things. I had sake kazu left over from brewing my own Snow Dog sake. Sake kazu, or sake lees, is the sediment left over from the brewing process. This ice cream is kind of savory, kind of sweet, a little like rice pudding, but with the taste and the aroma of sake. If you haven't brewed your own sake, you can buy sake kazu on the internet. I provide sources in the notes. So let's start cooking. Okay, now we're going to mix our eggs and sugar, which is also called creaming. When you mix together two ingredients like a fat and sugar, like butter and sugar, it's called creaming it. Usually you just talk about beating eggs, but we're mixing the eggs with the sugar, so we can call that creaming too. So we have 5 yolks in our bowl here, and we're going to add, oh, and by the way, now would be the time to freeze your ice cream maker bowl. Whatever ice cream maker you have, it has a bowl, needs to be put into the freezer before you can use it. All right, so we already have 5 yolks in our mixing bowl here. We're going to add the sugar, right, and then we're going to beat them until it is pale and where all the sugar is mixed in and it's not grainy, okay? Okay, it's been about 2 or 3 minutes. The eggs look pale in color and not granular, nice and smooth, nice and creamy. Now we're going to mix up the kazu and the half and half in a double boiler. And I have a real double boiler here. This top part is made to fit into the bottom part. I usually fill the bottom with water till it just touches the bottom. I do that for a couple of reasons. One, so you get better contact between the heat and the pan that you're heating, and also so that you're less likely to run out of water while you're heating it. Right, so we're going to sit that down into the double boiler, and we have in here our half and half. Now we're going to add the sake kazu. Now the kazu is has kind of like the consistency of cream of wheat, okay, and it has a great kind of yeasty, koji, ricey smell from making. This is the sediment that's left over from making the sake. So we're going to add that to the half and half, and now you could just stir it in, but I like to have it nice and creamy and well mixed in. So I'm going to use a stick blender to mix it up. Okay, let's check out our mixture. It's nice and creamy. I don't see any residue of the kazu there. It doesn't have to be mixed this well, but I like it nice and creamy, so I mix it really well. You could just mix it in with a spoon. All right, now we're going to whisk in our eggs. I'm going to start with a little bit of it, or probably about half of it actually. We're going to whisk that into the cream. All right, now we're going to add our salt, and this should be a fine salt so that it disperses into the mixture and doesn't add any graininess to it. Okay, mix that in a bit. All right, now we're going to heat the mixture in a double boiler, and after it starts to get hot, it's going to take about 8 to 10 minutes to get to be like a, forming into a custard. And we want to be stirring it pretty much constantly, including in the corners, so that it doesn't burn or get stuck in the corners. Okay, so our custard has thickened a bit. It's probably about the consistency of cream of wheat. Now we're going to strain it. Okay, now let's strain the custard into a bowl. And why are we straining it? Well, we're straining it because if you didn't use the stick blender when you mixed in the kazu, you could have some lumps or granularity. You could also have gotten some lumps or granularity from cooking the eggs. So what we're going to do is we're going to strain it by pushing it through the strainer with a rubber spatula. Then we're going to clean off the bottom of the clean off the spatula and clean off the bottom of the strainer so we don't lose what's on the strainer. Okay. Now we're just going to stir that up. And now I'm going to take a piece of plastic wrap and put it right down on top of the custard. Why are we doing that? To try to minimize skinning of the custard. Right? We're just going to press it gently right onto the top of the custard. It doesn't matter whether it comes down from the top rim of the bowl, because we're going to put another piece of plastic over the top rim. Okay, so we have that right there, right on top of the custard, and we're going to try to get the air bubbles out. Okay, good. All right, now take another piece of plastic, put that over the top. Now you're going to put this in the fridge and chill it until it's thoroughly chilled. What's that mean? Till it's cold, okay? So we don't want it to be warm anymore. We want it to be cold. That could take an hour, it could take a couple hours, it could take 3 hours. It's just going to depend on your fridge, your situation. So into the fridge, thoroughly chilled. Okay, I have the custard, which has been chilled. I chilled it overnight, but probably about 3 to 4 hours would have been enough. It really depends upon your refrigerator. So I put it into the ice cream bowl of my ice cream maker. You may have a different type of ice cream maker. Probably has a bowl similar to this. I'm going to put the stirring device down into the custard, put the lid on it, and there we go. Lock it down, turn it on, and we're just going to let that process until we have a nice consistency, an ice cream consistency. Okay, let's check it out. All right, we have a consistency that is, it's a little bit more than soft serve. It's not quite as hard as ice cream that you take out of your freezer. All right, let's taste it. Got that kind of that sake vibe, that kazu taste, a little bit koji and ricey. Okay, we're gonna plate up. Okay, here's a bowl of kazu ice cream. I tasted it just before I plated it up. Tastes great. Tastes like sake kazu. Kind of tastes like sake in a way. You can see photos of the final dish at my Instagram, which is @Chef's Apprentice, Cook Like a Pro. Please remember to subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching.